There is something comforting about farmers markets, especially in big cities. Living in a city can often feel like everyone is living completely separate lives. We pass each other every day, yet remain strangers. But then there are places like this, places where week after week you start seeing the same familiar faces. One vendor arranging flowers, other one is selling homemade bread. You don't really know them, you're still strangers, but somehow seeing the same people over and over again creates a quiet feeling of belonging and comforts you. There is this vendor here who sells green pickled tomatoes, and every time I try them, I immediately think about late August days spent at my grandma's kitchen preparing jars for the winter, washing tomatoes and cucumbers, cutting dill, peeling garlic. I remember how every little step mattered, and after everything was finished, there was only one thing left to do: wait. Sometimes in the middle of the night, you would hear a pop from the kitchen. It would mean that one of the jars hadn't sealed properly and just exploded, leaving the stains on the wall and the kitchen floor. As a child, I remember feeling disappointed every time it happened, because even after doing everything carefully and following the recipe, I would meet the reality that not every outcome is under my control. These memories have been on my mind this week. I'm currently in one of those in-between stages of life where I'm standing and looking at the pop jar and being reminded again that even when following the recipe, the plan, there is always something that needs to be adjusted and unfold on its own terms. Perhaps you would say I sound dramatic, but aren't we all a little dramatic when we are in the middle of the chaos? I don't think it is easy to pull yourself together and with a smile on your face, walk through the scattered pieces. These thoughts, I admit, appear every now and then in my head. However, I do try my best not to feed them and instead concentrate on what I can control. For example, my daily routines, or the thoughts I give energy to. I can ruminate, or I can simply acknowledge what's happening, accept it, feel sad if I want to, and yet move on. And when I don't have the energy to take even a small step, I remind myself to observe and to stop shaking the jar every 5 minutes to check if it's sealed properly. I think that can be considered moving forward as well. Coming back to the same activity every day or every week, such as going to farmer's market, tasting pickled tomatoes bought from a very familiar yet still stranger vendor, it helps me regulate my nervous system and rebuild my inner foundation. And suddenly, life feels a little less scattered, a little less chaotic, a little more certain. Anyway, guys, I'm wishing you a nice and smoothly flowing day. Take care of your heart, and goodbye.